Hey, everybody. Hi, and welcome to this week's Rocksmith 2014 live stream. My name is Dan Amrick. I'm the community developer, and today we are playing the music of the 2010s, you know, the decade we're currently in. Some modern tracks for you this week. We've got three, and we're only going to play those three songs this week. We have kind of an unusual situation where we had a lot of people out of the office, and then the people who were in the office were in a training session. And the training session was supposed to go until past the time that we would be streaming. So I snuck out to host, and then when I came back out and I got up here and ready to go, I found that everybody else had also been released from the training session. So what was going to be a three-song, single-player stream is now a three-song multiplayer stream. So we will have guitar and bass on every track, which is great. And, of course, we will do all of our standard giveaways. We've got some gifts from Ernie Ball to give on to you. We've got some Steam codes for the 2010s Mix Pack 5 as well. So, hey, take a look at the three songs we will be playing, and we'll get on with the show. So thanks for being here.
She was just a girl, she expected the world, but it flew away from her reach, so she ran away in her sleep and dreamed of paradise, paradise, paradise. Every time she closed her eyes,
but they never wanna leave. Excess in the oh-oh-ohs, they haunt me. Like the oh-oh-ohs, they want me to make them oh-oh-oh, they won't let go. My exes in the oh-oh-ohs, they haunt me. Like the oh-oh-ohs, they want me to make them oh-oh-oh, they won't let go. Exes and
There you go. That's the three songs we'll be doing today. And, yeah, we're only doing three songs. What I'll do is we usually do the Q&A during the sort of bonus song, which we had planned, and then we had to take it out because of stuff, and it's just not enough time to put it back in. We don't have the people that we need to pull off everything. So I'll just be answering your questions. I'm currently logged in as Rocksmith Game in the Twitch chat room, so I will do my best to answer any questions that you ask. At least to the best of my ability. UB Vertigo is our community manager for now. He's going to be moving out here to San Francisco to work with us with the team. And so he will be helping collect those questions. So in case I miss a few, you might get a delayed response. But I will try to respond to as many of those as I possibly can. However, we're going to kick it off with music, as we always do and always should, with Red Eyes by the War on Drugs. And joining me, surprisingly, both people here, not just Greg Studley, on lead guitar, but also David Stevens on bass. Hi, fellas.
Howdy.
Hello, Dan.
And this wasn't even your note track, Greg. This was this a Shane jam or yeah? This was a Shane.
Pody.
No,
this was a Pody jam.
That's
because
right.
Pody was
Yeah.
unavailable for this stream too. So, okay, so you jumped on this. How much did you get a chance to practice beforehand?
I played it a bit.
Going to keep it nice and vague.
That's
huh?
that's about
I
it.
need you to be
But
specific and concrete.
I remembered my capo.
Oh, good. Yes, so
That's
capo's
half the
required
battle.
on both lead and rhythm on this one, I believe.
I don't know
I
if it's
think
lead
just
and
lead.
rhythm or just
Just lead. Okay. Which is a little unusual. I would expect capo to be on rhythm more than lead, but
More often, I think you would find it that way.
yeah. So if you don't know what a capo is, gee, can we do a close-up? I guess we can't do a close-up.
Well, we can't
but,
do a close-up, but we can explain it.
But yes, so basically he's got this little metal and rubber contraption clamped to the neck of his guitar, and that effectively raises the pitch without retuning any of the strings. So sometimes vocalists use it because they feel more comfortable singing in a different range. Sometimes songwriters use it because they want to get a different sound out of the guitar. They interact with the guitar differently by playing familiar chord shapes, but in a completely different key, so it rings out differently. So yeah, odd. I think it's odd that that there would be a capo 3. You put the capo on the 3rd fret, just behind the 3rd fret.
It is very applicable for this song, though, for the chord structure that the lead is doing.
Okay.
In here, because you can sometimes take chords and efficiently move them. This one does not lend itself very well to being
Right.
moved. This
This is when
incredibly
you want to
awkward
use
without a capo.
some open strings and get those open strings tuned to a
Yeah.
different thing than they would normally be. That's kind of the main reason that you would want to use a capo, because
Yeah.
you want to incorporate more open strings. So generally, not always, but generally capo is used when you're doing open chord shapes, cowboy chords, if you will, but you want to have a different tonality to it, a
Yeah,
different...
which is what's happening in this one
Okay.
as well.
And David, you wisely brought up, you said this kind of reminds you, this song is a little bit of a Tom Petty, a little bit of a Bob Dylan,
Yeah,
which is to
totally,
say
totally.
a little bit of a Traveling Wilburys song at that point. All you just do is throw Jeff Lynne behind the boards
Sure.
and you're done. So yeah, that's interesting. If you're not familiar with the War on Drugs, maybe that caught your ear in the trailer. Maybe you'll enjoy the whole song. So let's do it.
Yeah, it's got a nice groove.
Yeah, good groove. Let's do it. Red Eyes by the War on Drugs, available now in the 2010s Mix 5 pack. You can buy individual songs if you'd like, but if you'd like
That
to
was my
save a
response.
buck or two, you can get the pack for a little less.
Beat it down.
It definitely got into that sort of I'm waiting for the Mike Campbell kind of riffs to kick in towards the end. It definitely it got into a nice little groove.
Yeah.
And it just stays there.
This
It's
song
good.
really grew on me. Like I didn't really know what to make of it when I first heard it, and after
Yeah,
playing
I
through
wasn't
it a few
familiar with
times,
it
I was like,
either, and I was like, oh yeah, I dig this. Yeah, snuck up on me. Well, thank you both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Much appreciated. First giveaway is now. Would you like some free things from our friends at Ernie Ball? You probably would, because who says no to free things, especially when the free things are these? We have some brand new strings for you. You're going to get everything that you see on this screen. One person's going to get everything that's on the screen. You're going to get regular slinky strings for both your guitar and your bass. You're going to get a peg winder to make changing those strings a lot easier. You're going to get wonder wipes, which, of course, I am always hawking because I don't feel that people do enough maintenance on their guitars. As luck would have it, David Stevens needed to change his strings on his guitar here at the office, and he said, but I kind of need to clean it up. Because it had grime all over the fretboard, and you know it needed some more love. And I was like, I think if only you had had wonder wipes along the way, it wouldn't have collected all that grime up to this point. So you can clean the strings themselves, you can condition the fretboard in between string changes, and of course you polish your guitar as long as you have a glossy finish. Many guitars do. That's all with wonder wipes. You're also going to get a strap. We have brown straps. So if you have a sunburst guitar, hey, this is the one that matches really nicely. If you have an acoustic guitar, hey, this also looks really good if you have like a natural hue guitar. And of course, picks aplenty. We've got 12 from Ernie Ball and then 3 from us, the Rocksmith picks that you can only get here, the Pink Skullboy picks. I just took a look at my stash, and we only have a limited number left. Now, mind you, when I say a limited number, we buy these in large numbers because, frankly, it's cheaper and it comes out of my budget. So I want to get like a whole bunch of them at once so that I don't have to worry about it. You order picks maybe once every 7 or 8 months. But I did notice that we had, some that were different. Or not some that were different. We were starting to run out of them in that we have only 400 of these left. So, and again, we give some of these away through other events and whatnot. If you run into, say, UB Vertigo at PAX, he might have some on him. Or if you go to E3 and you stop by the Ubisoft booth and you find a Rocksmith person, they might have some on them. But in any case, we have a limited number left, and of course, people are always asking, and we give some of these away in the lobby here at Ubisoft as well. So that uses them up. But I think since Doug is going to be coming out and joining us, I think Doug will take lead on what the next pick will be. We will probably change the design. Let's see. Doug, start thinking about it, man, because that's going to be on you. So if you would like to win everything that you see there, Doug is UB Vertigo in our chat room. He'll let you know what you need to do to enter to win. And if you do win, please do send us your name, your address, and your phone number when Doug contacts you over Twitch on a whisper. That's how it's going to happen. And then he'll send that information to me, and then I'll put together a box, and we'll get it all out there, and hopefully you'll get your prizes lickety-split. Now, a word of caution, we have gotten 1 or 2 prizes back recently that we had shipped out earlier in the year. Sometimes they get denied by customs, sometimes they get lost in the mail and they find their way back here. If you are expecting a package and you haven't gotten one, check and see whether UB Vertigo has dropped you a line, because we're trying to work that out and either get you the prize or a substitution, depending on what makes sense in your case. So we have a couple of sort of like orphan boxes, and if you don't claim them, they go back into the pile that everybody else gets. We don't ask Ernie Ball for prizes nearly as often if we just keep getting them back. But I figure you want your stuff, so check your messages, please. You have stumbled into a slightly shorter edition, I suppose is the right word that I could not come up with, of the Rocksmith live stream. We are live in San Francisco, coming to you with some of the note trackers and the staff members here at Studio San Francisco, where we make the Rocksmiths. And this week's DLC is the 2010s Mix Pack 5. And we are only doing the 3 songs. Normally we would do like a full, 4 songs, and we add another song from our very large library, more than 1,200 songs in our library. So naturally we have other songs from the modern current decade, the 2010s, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to barrel through all 3 songs because we had some conflicting scheduling problems that were like, you know what, we found a way to do the stream. Rather than cancel it, let's do a slightly shorter version of the stream. And everybody said, yeah, let's do it. And then some of the restrictions came away, and now we have more people to play, at least. So that's good. The people playing now are Rai Kin and Emmy Batista. Hello, Rai and Emmy.
Hi.
Emmy, you were really excited for this one. You called this, I think, 5 weeks ago. So Emmy is our production coordinator. Rai is a note tracker and a transcriptionist for us. But Emmy is the production coordinator. So Emmy is the person who has to juggle, among many things, do our third-party teams have what they need to release the DLC in time? She's the person who presses the giant red button on her desk that says "Release the DLC" to Steam every week too.
Yes.
So. And
do.
again, sometimes when you pass it off, other people do not press their red buttons on time, and so we're in a situation right now this week where some of this content is a little bit late on some of the Sony platforms. No fault of ours. We gave it to them in time. Humans make errors. Don't get too upset. But
Technical issues.
Technical issues. But when L King's X's and O's, which was recently got quite a bit of airplay, right away you're like, I'm on this. I want this. Write my name down now. And you're the most proactive about asking for specific tracks to play on.
This was the one I also wasn't going to hand off because everybody else was like, the last couple ones were like, oh, I want to play or I want to play. And I was like, yeah, it's okay, fine. But I was like,
But
not
you're like,
this one.
nobody gets L King's X's and O's but me.
Yeah.
And, Rai, you did not note track this. This was a Sam jam, I believe.
A Sam jam.
A Sam
I
jam.
like it.
Sam is still working on the team, but he's no longer working in the office, so that means that he can't generally come in and play. So you jumped in on this
I
one. and
just learned.
thank you.
We were on again. Off
Yeah,
again.
'cause-
now as 5 minutes ago, we're back on again.
Yeah.
I play this all the time in my on the cover band circuit. It's big, but I'm sure
Oh,
I play
okay.
it wrong. So we'll see.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
Notes are right. The hand position's made. We'll see. I don't know.
How much do you trust Sam? Also, this brings up a good thing, like a little known fact. If you hit the correct note, even if you're playing it in a different place, obviously our note trackers study the song, study how the people made the song, and try to give you the most accurate transcription that they can figure out. But if you want to play a chord in a different position, you can always do that as long as you're hitting the correct frequency. The game is looking for the frequency. The game does not know when you're playing it out of position. But Jason Kokol, always a big fan of make the song your own, play it the way that feels comfortable to you. Some of the players have really esoteric ways of approaching chords or lead lines, and it makes sense to them and it's part of their style, but it's very awkward for other people to do it. So he said all the time, he's like, yeah, but I'm playing it up here because I find it more comfortable to play up here. Totally valid, and you will not be penalized by that by the game. So go ahead and play it however you want. So if you want to play them in the wrong position, what I'm saying is that's fine
I'm
with
going
me.
to go with the artist's intent.
Oh, okay. All right, well then let's hear X's and O's by L King, by Rai, and Emmy. Emmy, you're going to be playing this at 80% difficulty, right?
Yeah,
because
'cause
you
I
got
was-
it up to 80.
Because I got it, I started with the guitar and then I was like, oh, you should play the bass. And I was
The
like,
bass
okay.
line is so satisfying here.
But they never wanna leave. X's and O's, they haunt me. Like ghosts, they want me to make them all. They won't let go. X's and I had a summer lover down in New Orleans, kept him warm in the winter, left him frozen in the spring. My mind, how the seasons go by. I get high and I love to get low, so the hearts keep breaking and the heads just roll. You know, that's how the story goes. 1, 2, 3, they gonna run back to me, 'cause I'm the best baby that they never gotta keep. 1, 2, 3, they gonna run back to me. They always wanna come, but they never wanna leave. X's and the O's, they
So everybody was really happy that you did play that bass line because everybody's like, "Oh, this bass line is so good." And again, not too super complicated, but really holds this song together and really drives at the low end. It's really nice, and they love the fuzz tones
That
too.
lower blue chord was like my pinky and my not. Not
Yeah,
happening.
that's okay. Well, that's where you are, and that's okay. Remember, like she played it at about 80% complexity, which is to say that when you play it, it's going to drop you in wherever it feels that you are as a bassist, and then it will dynamically adjust. It's part of the magic of Rocksmith is the dynamic difficulty, so that as you get better at a song, the song continues to increase in complexity until you are hopefully ultimately playing at 100%, which we normally just say put it on 100% because we got people like Rye who are like lifelong guitar players who really know what they're doing. You know what you're doing, right?
Yeah, we'll
We
go
don't
with
Sure,
that.
okay, yeah.
We don't
Yeah.
talk about that.
Absolutely.
We don't talk about that. Nobody said I had to prove my credentials. But yeah, if you, playing it at, you're going to see most tracks more along the lines of what you just saw for Emmy's baseline. You're going to see them at 80% or 50%, or maybe lower than that, depending on where you are. And that's okay because Rocksmith is designed to fit in with you wherever your natural skill level is. And then as your skill level naturally raises, so does its. So thank you for doing it because we don't get to show that very often because we got, we got show-offs like Anthony and David and Greg Studley and all these guys, okay, so thanks very much. Much appreciated. We're going to take a very short break. We've got one more song to do. We've got 2 more giveaways to do. We're going to give away 5 Steam codes for this week's pack right now. UB Vertigo is in our chat room standing by, ready to release the Waffle Hounds, I suppose. If you would like to enter this, he'll tell you what you need to do, and maybe that joke will make sense if you've been here a lot. But while we do that giveaway, take a look at what the experts say about Rocksmith. I mean, I can tell you, like, yeah, it works, and, obviously I'm a little biased. I work for Ubisoft. However, I'm not wrong, and I have some very powerful friends who can now tell you on video that that's absolutely true. So check out what the experts say about Rocksmith 2014 and the way that we teach you how to play guitar. Good luck in the giveaway that we do, and come back for another song right after this.
Well, my first guitar I got only had a couple of strings on it, and some of the tuning pegs were broken off it. My cousin had bought it at a swap meet or whatever and brought it over to our house, asked him if I could borrow it for a weekend, and I never gave it back.
When you play a song that people love, you get an amazing reaction. You impress people.
I think the first part of learning guitar is knowing that it's possible, realizing that it can be played by a mortal, and some of the best guitar players happen to be human beings.
Playing any instrument is not easy. It hurts like hell when you first start playing. It takes a lot of dedication and a lot of work. Having something like Rocksmith when I was a kid would have been something that I would have been very interested in.
Video games in general are amazing learning devices. Rocksmith is interesting because you've got world-class game developers applying themselves to learning software, in this case guitar.
When I learned how to play guitar, I was looking at tablature and static notes on a page. With Rocksmith, there's no comparison. It's very much like playing a video game, but it's learning software that is much more than that. It's really interactive. It's got a lot of visual feedback. It's fun to use.
There are lots of different ways to play the guitar, and the group of songs that you have in the game showcases a lot of different styles.
Everybody will find something in there that they love to play. Really, for the cost of a couple lessons, you get the whole package. Rocksmith is really the most cost-effective way to learn guitar.
We all can use tools to help our students. The mini games, they're basically guitar exercises that I've taught many times, disguised in like a really fun interactive game.
They're teaching you little tiny nuance-based things that you kind of have to know as a guitar player.
If the difficulty level exceeds your ability level, it's frustrating. If your ability level exceeds the difficulty level, you're bored. Rocksmith has a dynamic difficulty system that matches the difficulty level of the program to your ability level. So you can have that nice flow experience, and pretty soon you're performing at a really high level.
Earlier this year, RSG was commissioned to conduct a Rocksmith project. We pre-recruited approximately 200 people nationally, gave them the software to use at home for 3 weeks. A large majority noticed a significant improvement of their guitar skills. They were more familiar with the fretboard, their speed and movement on the fret improved significantly, they learned new chords. Rocksmith was considered the fastest way to learn guitar.
Rocksmith is a great way for beginners to start learning how to play guitar, but it's not just for beginners. Advanced players can always get better. It's the quickest way to learn to play guitar.
I like the session mode. You can actually kind of play with a band, and it plays to your touch. As you play softer, it gets softer. As you play harder, the volume increases. You know, you can blow up the neck, and it can show you all the good notes to play within that scale. Also, I like the fact that it throws you some changes every once in a while, you know, like a band might, you know, go to D.
All those little tiny things go into making you a guy that could probably go out and play guitar in front of people.
It's a great tool to learn how to play. It would have been kind of cool to have something like that when I was learning to play guitar myself.
Yes, coming in October 2013. That's how long we've been at this. Actually, the original Rocksmith came out in 2011. So, yeah, it's, again, when we say this stuff, we say it's the fastest way to learn to play guitar. It's not just a tagline. We actually had to back that up with science. My name's Dan Amrich. I'm the ComDev, the community developer for Rocksmith, and you have stumbled onto our weekly stream. Welcome. We are playing Rocksmith 2014 Remastered Edition. Which is a sort of slightly tweaked version. If you have an older version of Rocksmith 2014, you got patched like more than a year ago with some creature comfort, some new features, and some improvements that, you know, honestly, we were happy that the product has been successful for so long that it justified those things. So we have more than 1,200 songs. We are actually knocking on the door of 1,300 songs. We will break the 1,300 song barrier, I believe, sometime in October, just next month. So plenty of options. We are playing the latest DLC. The latest 3 options is the 2010s Mix Pack 5. Because we try to, you know, we'll have 60s packs and 70s packs. There's different kinds of music from every decade, and so our music team has put together little collections. When we get the licenses for different songs, we go ahead and we put them out as mix packs like this. So sometimes they're going to be packs for specific artists, sometimes they're going to be variety, and sometimes they're on a theme or just a decade. And I should point out that the music team has been really doing a good job of dialing in specific years. Even I believe you know, sometimes if it's like a 90s pack, it might be 2 specific years in the 90s, so that they're songs intentionally put together so that if you remember one, you might remember all 3, and that it sort of puts you where you were when those songs were popular. So yeah, I don't know if you've noticed that, but I've noticed that, and I thought that was kind of cool. Our third and final song today will be played by none other than Brian Shu and Andrew Levin. Thank you for both being able to jump back in after we had this is a slightly shorter stream because we were very short-handed, partly because some people are out of the office and partly because there was like a day-long training session. Didn't last the whole day. It was a day-short training session, I suppose. And just before we went on the air, like literally 10 minutes, everybody comes back in like, hey, you want to do you want to do the bigger stream? And I'm like, no. Oh, can we still play multiplayer? Okay, yeah. So everybody came back on. So Andrew was not going to be base on this. You were going to be helping run the board, but then like, hey, all right, we got more human bodies. Let's do it. And so we let the bodies hit the floor, and here we are. Yep. Shu, you are the note tracker, actually the only person who's playing a song that they note tracked this week because we had Pody and Sam covered by 2 other people, but you're doing Paradise by Coldplay.
He's been doing that all
it's almost impossible for me to say the name of that particular Coldplay song without singing the refrain. But I really shouldn't do it anymore because there are people working just outside that door. What can we look forward to on this one, Shu?
So the guitar arrangement's kind of interesting. I'm going to be playing the main lead path, and the main lead path in this bundle is kind of a Frankenstein of a bunch of different parts.
Okay.
There's the synthy bass line. You get to play that in this arrangement. You get to play the melody in kind of the low octave that he sings, because he kind of has a low range, and then lower octave range, and the some synth parts, and then a part of the guitar solo. There isn't really a lot of guitar in this track, So I had to kind of try to put a bunch of stuff together and make it interesting. There is an alt lead chart that's basically the whole vocal arrangement. So, but it's up an octave actually. So in this arrangement, I'm going to be playing the melody down here.
Which
And
is
it-
sort of where he's singing
Kind of
it.
where he's singing
Yeah.
it. And then in the other arrangement, actually the piano player plays something like, or I guess the singer's the piano player, right? But anyways, the piano plays basically the melody, but kind of more in a double stoppy way that actually lays pretty well on guitar. So in the alt lead, you're playing this.
That's
Stuff
really
like-
nice. Yeah.
It's kind of like a Hendrixy thing. So it's
It
like
is.
You can really take a lot of those like little piano things and kind of transfer it over to guitar, and it works really well.
That's cool.
Yeah, and the guitar solos in that too, and then the rhythm part is a mix, I believe, of it's more of a hummy strummy thing, so you can play chords and sing along.
I was going to say, I was
what-
kind of hoping that's what you were going to say.
Yeah, that's kind of what more people, I guess, want to
Sure.
learn from this song is like the whole chord progression and stuff. So pretty straightforward.
Pretty straightforward, except that everything is completely different than your standard song.
Yeah, I just lied right now.
Right.
It's kind of a mess
Andrew,
putting it
anything?
together.
Did you get a chance to try this out on bass? Because again, like this was like, hey, can you do bass? He's like, yeah, I can totally do bass. And then it's like, don't worry, you don't have to do bass. We changed the way we're doing the show this week. Okay. Hey, 10 minutes before we go live, can you do bass? Yeah, but I'm gonna read
Well,
it blind.
I did do the transcription review for
Oh,
the bass
okay.
on the song, so I've seen it, but it was like 2
It was 2 months ago.
Yeah, so I
Okay.
I know how it goes, kind of.
Sure.
I could sing the bass line.
Well, if you could just, nail it 100% perfectly and show everybody, how it should be played right now live, that would be fantastic if you could
Cool.
do that.
Yeah.
Great. Great. Let's do it. It's Coldplay Paradise right now as part of the 2010s Mix Pack 5. I actually didn't mean to do it that time. I just wound up doing it. After this, we'll do our final giveaway from Ernie
Whoa,
Ball. Whoa. Synthtacular. People like that tone, by the way.
When she was just a girl, she expected the world, but it flew away from her reach. So she ran away in a sea. Dreaming paradise, paradise. Every time she closed her eyes.
Shane really liked this little synth thing.
When she was just a girl, she expected the world, but it flew away from her reach. And the blood is catching teeth. Life goes on, it gets so heavy. The wind it makes the butterfly. Every
say, a little. Little unexpected sort of to throw in with that Coldplay, a little like late '90s rock rap vibe going on there.
I thought that was in the recording.
Little Limp Bizkit, you know.
Yeah. Coldplay,
Yeah.
Coldplay featuring Fred Durst.
Backwards red hats for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on in that song. I love the really unusual tones. I do like the way that you put together. There's always something interesting to do in that main lead path. Even though it's not traditionally guitar, it's a fun way to experience the song. And then if you do want to do something that you could perform publicly, that alt lead is there for you.
Yeah. I mean, otherwise it would have just been like the last half of the tune you'd be playing. So.
Well, you know, sometimes we get flack when it's like, well, there's not guitar in the song. I don't hear guitar in that song. And yet modern music uses guitar a lot as texture.
Right.
Or uses it as an accent or as like just a different flavor in a recipe.
Right.
And I think some people get too hung up on it has to be only the guitar and that should be the only thing you hear and there should be somebody that steps out in the front of the stage and plays a really flashy, obvious solo. It's like that's not how current musicians are really interpreting how the guitar can be used, you know? So, you know, things go in waves anyway. We might wind up 10 years from now like, holy cow, the guitar's at the front of every mix. But right now, it's playing a different role. And learning how it can be used is kind of, should be part of the fun to see how the guitar can be used as a texture and how it can be used in ways that it hasn't really traditionally been used. Rock and roll has only been around for, you know, 60 years or 70 years. Yeah. And now we're getting to a point where like, ooh, what if it's subtle? You know, but then one day it won't be subtle again.
You know, I think that one thing that you shouldn't mistake, it's not easier just because it's maybe farther back in the mix or it may be not as complicated doesn't mean it's easier.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to tones. I mean, that's something that takes a really long time to develop. And the guitar player for Coldplay, I can't remember his name, but he his tones are amazing. And some of the parts aren't too difficult, but it takes years to kind of develop that kind of
Well, you know, another modern band that is in our library actually that uses guitar as texture a lot was Imagine Dragons, and that was a week I remember. You know, the community was like, "I don't hear a guitar." It's like, but there is a guitar, and there's a lot to learn if you listen for it, see how they're doing it. Another person who uses guitar texturally a lot is The Edge from U2. He uses it melodically as well, but his whole approach is what does it add to the mix, and what's the tone going to be?
Totally.
And then he sort of builds it out from there.
Or Radiohead. I mean,
very good example.
Radiohead
You're a big Radiohead fan.
I am a big Radiohead fan. Yeah.
A lot of these guys too play multiple instruments. Like like the guitar player will also be playing keyboards, or you know, they're adding a lot of different things.
Right.
Like
they're bringing
guitar as well.
Yeah, it's not just the guitar is the only vehicle. It's that I want to play music, but I can use the guitar as one of many tools, which is a great way to. I personally think it's a great way to look at it. Be a vehicle for music, not just the instrument.
I've said this on the stream. At least
then don't say it again. I'm gonna bore people.
No, but you know, it's useful to learn things on the guitar that aren't played by guitar players. A lot of the best musicians in the world have learned a lot of stuff that was maybe written for another instrument and adapted it for their instrument.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like one thing that I've always done is for blues licks, I've always tried to transcribe singers and even sax players. But the funny thing is, like, there's a lot of sax players like Michael Brecker or Chris Potter who go on record saying that, oh, yeah, all of my licks I actually transcribed from guitar players, and then we're retranscribing it from the sax players because they're taking it and doing something even cooler with it.
Right.
Or maybe not even cooler, but, you know,
but certainly
different.
Yeah, it gets
So,
changed in the translation
right,
to something that a different approach.
It's cool to do that.
It is cool to do that.
Piano, especially when you're talking about modern music, like synth parts and
chord voicings.
Chord voicings, textures. Totally.
Yeah.
Like a piano.
Anytime I come across an impossible chord, I assume it was written on a piano. Case in point.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you both very much. Yeah. Let's do that final giveaway we were talking about. We gave away one of these Ernie Ball packs at the top of the show. We've got a second one for you now. If you won the first one, first of all, congratulations. Second of all, please don't enter. Please let all the other people in the chat room get a chance to win their very own set of Ernie Ball regular Slinky strings, both for your guitar and your bass, if you do not currently have a guitar and a bass. Well, first of all, here's an excuse. Sorry, I've got to go out and buy a bass because I just got some strings, and what else would I do with them? I find that never works, but I'd love to hear if it worked for you. So you're going to get a set of both of those. You're going to get a peg winder, which maybe you have one of these in your arsenal, maybe you don't, but it makes changing strings a lot easier. Don't be afraid to change your strings. You want to change them on a regular basis. It's better for you. It's better for your instrument. It's certainly better for your comfort, especially as you're learning how to play guitar. So peg winder will make that easier. It's a little crank that you use on the tuning pegs and makes it easier and simpler to get a nice clean wrap of the string around your post. Also, the Ernie Ball Wonder Wipe system, a great way to keep your guitar clean, including the strings themselves so they last longer. You're going to get a brand new Ernie Ball Poly Pro strap. This is a really nice lightweight nylon strap. At the moment, they are brown. So that goes really well if you've got a brown guitar, or perhaps a natural wood acoustic guitar, or even a sunburst guitar. It sort of like lets the colors of your guitar on that sunburst sort of take center stage by not drawing a lot of attention to itself as the strap. And picks, you probably need some, and even if you don't, maybe you can share some with friends. So you're going to get 12 from Ernie Ball, and then you can decide whether you want to share the 3 very rare limited edition pink Skullboy Rocksmith picks that you can only get here. As I mentioned before, we're going to have these for several weeks to come, but when it's time to change over, we will be retiring this design and something new will take its place. So I'd say keep one at least. Put it in your wallet. If you have like a lot of guitarists will keep a pick in their wallet. I keep 2 in my wallet because inevitably I figure that I'm going to run into somebody who needs a pick and then is never going to give it back. So all of this can be yours regardless. If you win our giveaway, UB Vertigo is Doug. He's our community manager. He's moving on up to community developer in a few weeks, which means that he'll be out here taking over the show, hosting the show, and you'll get to see him on camera a lot more. He's been on the show a few times before, but not very often. So that's going to change, which is great. And so he is currently handling the giveaway in our chat room. Look to him to find out what you need to do to enter. And then if you are luckily picked at random to win that chat, the prize pack in our chat, then he will send you a private message to get your personal information. He'll send that to me. I will put it into the mailroom machine, and then we get rid of it. We do not keep any of your information beyond that. You don't get added to any like weird mailing lists or spam or anything like that. We just want to send you some free stuff from our friends at Ernie Ball. So help us do that by being very explicit. Give us your full address. If there's a zip code, a postal code, if there's a county, because there's counties in Ireland and stuff, and we don't necessarily know what order to put those on the sheet, so it gets to you. Help us out with all of that information, please. Please do denote how that should go on your package, and then we'll put the package together for you. Let's see. It is a shorter stream. Normally we wouldn't be done in an hour because I would be talking too long. So to get it to an hour, let me tell you a really long, boring, pointless story. No, actually, I'd rather hear from you. If you would please send us any questions that we didn't get a chance to answer this week, you can reach out to us in a number of ways. We are on Twitter. We're at Rocksmith Game. We're on Facebook. If you go to facebook.com/Rocksmith, you can find us there. We do answer those posts. We don't answer them in real time generally, but we do check a couple times a day and try to give you answers to any questions you might have. We do always appreciate your comments. We're also over at rocksmith.com. That's our website. We have a very respectful, an unusually respectful forum where other Rocksmith players gather to trade tips and ask questions and answer other people's questions and sort of discuss the DLC of the time, whatever it may be. You can check that out. And if you do check that out tomorrow morning, you may find that you are in the first lap of people to find out what next week's DLC is. We have a puzzle for you to solve created by Rolling Stone 222. He was somebody who figured out all the puzzles that I did, and I was like, okay, you're so good at this. Why don't you start making them? And he did, and they're great. So I appreciate that because I was getting kind of burned out. Now, that said, these are not designed to be solved by one person. They are designed to be intentionally cryptic, and you will want to work together with the other people in the Rocksmith live stream, or in the Rocksmith website, in our forums, to figure it out. But once you have figured it out, our team will let you know that you have gotten it correct, and they'll confirm that there's a song and an artist for part of next week's pack. Whatever that is, you may be surprised. You never know. So if you'd like to find out before the rest of the world will start getting hints on Sunday. You can find out Friday at rocksmith.com. Yeah, just look for the DLC section of the forums, and that's where you'll find all the clues, and maybe you can help solve it this week. That'd be fun. I think that's it. We will wrap it up with another look at the trailer for this week's DLC, which is the 2010s Mix 5. Again, we'd rather do a short stream than no stream at all. Thanks for being flexible with us. Again, we had a lot of people that were going to be out of the office or in a training session, and then the training session ended like 15 minutes, 10 minutes before we went live on the air. So we were able to sneak some other players back in. Everybody's like, let's do a bigger show. And I'm like, no, the ship has sailed. Forget it. But we were able to get multiplayer instead of just single player. So it was a good show all around. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully you'll come back next Thursday. We will be doing this again for next week's DLC. Thursday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. UTC. And, of course, when the American clocks change, that will switch to 11 p.m., but not yet. I think we still have several more weeks before that happens. So see you on the forums tomorrow for the clue, and we'll see you back here a week from today. Here's another look at this week's DLC. Available now. Check it out this weekend. You can buy all 3 songs if you want, or if just one of them caught your ear, maybe give that a swing this weekend and see how you do on it. In any case, have fun. I'm Dan Amrich, the community developer. Adios, everybody. Here's a trailer. See you next week.
When she was just a girl, she expected the world, but it flew away from her reach. So she ran away in her sleep and dreamed of paradise, paradise. Every time she closed her eyes. It's easier to stick to you. Surrounded by the night. Surrounded by the night and you don't give a room. But you abuse my faith. Losing every time that I don't know where. You're on my side again. So ride the key wherever it goes. I'll be the one again.
One, two, three, they gonna run back to me. They always wanna come, but they never